Hey Woodhound, so I've got my experimental bucking platform put together. It's not very pretty, but I think it may be functional for what I need to do with it. And now all that is basically have a place to set a log, mark it, cut it, and remove the round towards the splitter. So all I did with this setup, like I said, this is just kind of an experimental phase. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it this way. I'm going to try it out, see how it goes. I just took a couple logs, laid them down, set these pallets on top of it at a slight angle so the rounds theoretically will roll down towards the splitter. I then just took a couple other big old pine logs that I had and kind of just built this little, I guess, stand that I can lay the logs up on top, and then after I buck them, push them over and roll them down. Last year I had a similar setup, but I had it parallel with the log splitter. So I had like the bucking platform would have been over here, and then I used the gravity conveyor to feed the rounds down to the splitter. However, this year when I started laying this out and thinking about it, I realized that the change in elevation, last year I had the bucking platform higher and the splitter was lower, so I could use gravity and feed everything down. This setup is a little different in the fact that my splitter is high on the high ground, and then the hill slants down, and so everything is kind of, where I'm bucking is not higher than the splitter. So I can't use the gravity conveyor. So in theory, I'll be able to buck, I don't know, a good amount of logs up, let the rounds all kind of gather up and build up down here by the log lift. And this will all become a lot easier once I get rid of this pile right here. So I gotta work through all of this first, and then I'll be able to start bringing logs from over there. And ideally, I can come down this little path with the log, turn, drop the log right on top of that platform in that little channel, mark it, buck it up, push the rounds down, get another log, repeat. Like I said, this is just the experimental phase to kind of get me through this fall and into what eventually, once these trees are cleared out, will become a more, I guess, non-redneck processing center. Because this is a little redneck right here. In fact, there's nothing even holding this together except the weight of itself and gravity. Like nothing's fastened, screwed, nailed together. It's just put in here, situated with the branch nubs, and everything is kind of locked in and it's holding. So, hey, it works. So I think for now, for this experimental stage, I think this is going to work out good. The bucking height of the log is ideal. I like it being up a little bit. I don't have to bend down. I'm not bending forward with the weight of the saw. So it's at a good height. Like I said, I know some of you are going to say if I had a grapple, it would make it easier setting the logs up there. And yeah, it would. But right now, I'd have to get the third function kit installed, and that's $1,000, and then about $1,500, $2,000 for a grapple. So $3,000 right now just doesn't seem like a wise investment when I can basically get stuff done with the forks. The other thing I know some of you are going to say is that I should set up marks on the log so that I don't have to measure with my measuring stick and I can just eyeball it. And I might do that. The only problem with that is that then each time you have to have your log, positioned and set at one of those starting spots. So if you have a starting mark right here, you have to have your log set right there. And when you're putting it on with the fork, sometimes, it might be a foot over, it might be a couple inches past. So eventually there'll get to be enough marks in that pine log from me cutting through. So I might set something up where I can just eyeball it. But it doesn't take long to just make your marks with the marker and then come back and cut. So there are all the rounds I have staged up here now next to the splitter. I might grab one more log and put him on there, but this is a good amount of wood to be split up. So there it is. There is my new, like I said, experimental phase bucking platform. I thought about doing it parallel with the splitter like I had it last year, but with the height difference, with the splitter being higher than it was last year and the bucking platform being down lower, it made sense to try this first. And I think it worked out all right. Once I get these logs cleared out of here, it'll be a lot easier to come in with the tractor, turn, set the log down. And then what I'll probably do is bring one log over, go get another one on the forks waiting. Then that way I can buzz one up, push it off, set the saw down, keep the saw running, get the tractor, put the next log on. In the video here today, I just shut the saw off just for filming purposes because moving the camera around, getting on the tractor takes a little bit of time. But if I was in production mode, that's probably what I would do is bring a log over. There goes a mouse. Bring a log over, set it down, go get another log, have that waiting on the forks, maybe even one or two, buck one log up, set the saw down, put the next log on, buck that one up, build up a nice little pile of rounds, and then split them and take them to stack them. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and hopefully there might be some tweaking I need to do. Maybe some of your feedback will give me some ideas on how to make this better. But for now, I'm going to go with that and try to get this pile cleaned up here right after I go in and have some lunch. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.